I tore my patella tendon. The world was on pause. I was an All-American coming out of high school. I was a kid walking around, with 20 plus offers. Something I will tell you about that is talent will get you an offer. It will get you a scholarship. What's going to separate you is the hard work, the effort. I always was one of the kids that wanted more.
Wow. What thoughts did you have at first once this injury first happened?
I needed funding, bro. I needed funding for my rehab. While everybody quarantined, I'm like, I got to figure something out. That's why I want to be a business owner. What type of business? I had no idea, I had no clue. I wanted to attack an industry that nobody was doing. Just to be able to overcome that situation and just create a beard brand like that. Just the fact that it's in the best mall in the world, Aventura Mall right now, it's crazy.
How do you have that kind of conversation with kids understand the importance of life after sports?
You don't have to play sports to make money or, be great or be successful. You just got to wake up and, find a different plan.
Hey guys, we realize a lot of you are coming to the page and enjoying the content, but we see a lot of you still aren't subscribed. And so if you could click that subscribe button, it'll help our channel grow and give you more episodes with a lot of amazing individuals. Yo, welcome back to another episode of Attractive Mindset. And listen, today's guest, well, I'm telling you, y'all are in for an absolute treat because we've been waiting to get him on this podcast for 3 years. And this is his first podcast ever. Listen, he made a promise to me. And so this already should show you the type of personality that he got, because he's like, yo, I'm going to do it when, I'm ready to do it. But I promise you, I'm going to be the first one. You're going to be the first one. 3 years later, spun the block and said, yo, I'm ready. And so I want to introduce Mr. Calvin Championship Swagger himself, man. Welcome to the pod.
Thanks for having me, bro. I really appreciate, just for being here and just for being patient with me, because I know it's been a long time coming. And I appreciate you for supporting me over the years with the hats. The hat look amazing on you, bro.
Absolutely. Thank you. And so for the people who don't know who you are, give them a little insight to both of the master businesses that you're running right now.
So if you see the hat on Rich Head right now, it's Championship Swagger, one of the best hat brands, I think, in the world. The quality is amazing. And then I also have a beard brand. It's called King of Kings, one of the best beard products in the world. If you look on the social media, you see some of the biggest artists in the world, rocking the products, both the hats and the beard brand.
Absolutely, man. So, how we usually direct this podcast is everybody sees where we at right now in social media, but I like to take them back because that's not where we started.
Okay.
And so we like to go, to the point of how you became who you are today. And so, where are you from originally?
Sure. I was born and raised in Miami, bro, Liberty City. To be honest, I'm just thankful just to be sitting in this seat right now, bro.
And so you growing up, what was life like for you growing up in Liberty City?
To be honest, I had a good, support system. My mom and my dad, my grandma, my auntie, my uncles, had a big family. So I always, I was involved in sports before I became an entrepreneur, which in my 20s. So I was always like a star football player, throughout the neighborhood, just playing ball, just staying out the way, just doing, what regular kids do. Just enjoy, just growing up as a kid in Miami, just being competitive, playing sports.
Okay. So your family played sports, or you were one of the first?
To be honest, I was one of the first. Okay. I'm one of the kids in the family that, just grew up and just created that pipeline and everything, because after me, it became my little brother. I have a brother right now. He played at FIU. And then I have a younger brother that's, preparing for the JOs.
Wow.
One of the fastest kids in the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And so y'all got some good genetics then.
Yeah. When you got a good support system, a good, cast around you, like your mom and dad and the remaining, cast, things become easier because you got the support.
Okay. And so now being in Miami, Liberty City, I'm from New York originally, but I've been here for about 10 years.
I didn't know that, bro. I didn't know you was from New York.
Yeah, I'm from New York. And so I've been here for about 10 years. And, you hear certain names like Pork and Beans, Liberty City, Overtown, I think.
Yeah, Overtown.
Yeah,
that's
Overtown,
one.
like all of these places that are like very cultural, very ethnic, there's a lot going on where you could either be on the good side of things, or you could be on the bad side of things. And so how was life positioned for you as far as that?
Shout out for Attractive Mindset for having championship swagger on. Here are a few hats right here. And then we see Rich. Rich have one of the new hats on. This is the black and red with the crystals. If you want one of these hats, go to championshipswagger.store. To be honest, if you stay the course, you stay out the way, you stay focused, you keep the main thing. You just, prevent from, walking into a certain situation that you have no business being into. Because like you said, Parker Beans, Overtown, Little Haiti, just even places in, like Broward, like Fort Lauderdale, like different places, like trouble is so easy to, get into. So the best thing is just stay out the way, just keep the main thing. And I think everything will work itself out.
Okay. So now going into like high school kind of time frame, right? In high school, what kind of friend group did you gravitate towards?
To be honest, I was a quiet kid. I was an All-American coming out of high school. Had all the schools. I went to FSU. I chose FSU over Notre Dame in Georgia. But I was a quiet kid. Even though I was a kid walking around, school with, over 20 plus offers, knowing I'm going to school early in January, but I always was one of the kids that wanted more. Like when I say I wanted more, I was never one of the ones that was just, I'm doing this. And I always had a fresh pair of kicks on my feet. I was just quiet, bro, to be honest. I wasn't no troublemaker or nothing like that. And the people I had, it was always like my teammates and stuff like that.
Tight knit.
I hung around good people that was going places.
No, that's good. And so, when you say stuff like All-American, for the people who, if they don't know exactly what that is, what is the biggest difference between an All-American versus, somebody that is just regularly getting scouted for the team and stuff?
To be honest, it's a prestigious award. It's basically classifying you as one of the best kids in the country at your position. So you got to think about all the, kids across the U.S. that play in your position. And you've been classified as one of the best.
What position did you play?
I played free safety.
Free safety.
Yeah.
Okay. And out of all of the positions, what made you feel like, yeah, this is the one for me?
When you get in high school, your body, it developed to, specific positions. And my body, the way it was developing, I just knew I was going to be a DB or a receiver. I was a slim kid, and I knew how to tackle. I knew how to tackle very well. Also, I knew how to cover. I just knew, like, with my instincts, my ability for me to go to school, I just knew I was going to, be playing defense. And I was one of the first kids to get a scholarship from Florida State University. It was actually got offered my freshman year in high school. So that created, like, momentum. And once you get momentum and you get a piece of momentum, it's like it's almost over with. Like when you get that momentum, it's like your confidence boosts. Everything just become easy. Just playing on the field, everything becomes slower. You start to read plays. Everything just become easy. It just becomes like, just sync.
And so, there's a question or there's a statement that a lot of people put towards that when they talk about, talent versus skill. And so for you to be at that level, what did you have to go through as far as training wise? Like, what was your regiment like to really uphold that kind of stuff? So
something I will tell you about that is talent will get you an offer. It will get you a scholarship. But when you get to that next level, on that college level, everybody is talented. So what's going to separate you is the hard work, the effort, the being in the playbook, being able to read the play, making a play, 1 to 2 seconds faster, being there to jump the interception or, picking up the read, covering zones. It's so much because when you athletic, coaches, watching your film, just watching a video, of you just making plays against your rival and stuff like that. And a lot of times you just flat out better than the person you're competing against. But when somebody, matches your talent across from you, the difference going to be strategy. Yeah. So it's going to be how much film you studied. Cause that could be, the big difference of making a play and not making a play. So just little things like that.
Nah, that's definitely good perspective. And so when you're in college, did you get presented with like NIL deals, stuff like that?
To be honest, this NIL stuff is new, bro. So
Okay.
I guess you call me OG now
Yeah.
because when I was in school, we didn't, we had financial aid, we had, scholarships, stuff like that. But we didn't have all the money these kids. The kids I meet in the mall they got it. They got it. But salute to them.
Nah, most def. Okay.
I'm happy with the transition of it. So they getting what they deserve.
No, absolutely. It's definitely a different time.
Yeah.
And so with you transitioning out of high school into college, what's going through your head as far as like how life is supposed to play out for you or how life is supposed to go for you?
So to be honest, it's like when you go from high school to college, it's like, okay, it's like it's like a kid coming off the training wheels because the reality is really like here now. You're not staying with your parents. It's on you to get, things done in your life. It's on you to feed yourself every day. Mom not cooking, just simple principles and stuff like that. So it's on you if you're going to, make it to that next step, that next level. Because one thing about when you get to college, you're going to go through adversity. And it's about how you handle adversity. And you got to learn how to dance through the rain.
Yeah.
Got to.
Absolutely. So now you leaving high school as an All-American going to college, how much did you see it level out as far as like, just like you said, there's a lot of talented people out here.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm a kid from Miami. So I'm like, I came from Miami Central High School. So at the time, I'm like, okay, play at a powerhouse, one of the best, schools in the country. But I knew it was talented kids because, in the summertime of high school, you in 7-on-7 leagues, all-star 7-on-7 leagues. So you get a chance to like see what type of talent in different states as you compete and you go into, a few camps and all-American events. But when I first got there, I was just, it's like a culture shock because you're like, whoa, this kid could play too. This kid fast, he's big, he's strong. So it's like a real cultural shock for sure.
And so were you worried about more so things as we get older, we start to think about more dietary kind of things, or were you straight like, I just got to hit the gym, I got to work out, I got to study?
To be honest, my situation, I wouldn't change anything. The school I chose, the people I met, I wouldn't change anything about my process, my journey, because it actually taught me to be a better man. It actually taught me to handle adversity. It actually taught me to how to, be a great business owner, which I am now. It really taught me so many life lessons. So I wouldn't change anything about it, bro. Some people dwell on the past. A lot of times I don't even tell people I played sports because you getting to know the new Calvin Brewton. You getting to know me in 2025, not what I did 10 years ago.
Yeah. So
I feel like I go into, my years each year as a milestone and I get better and better. So I learn something new every year and I implement that into my game and whatever I'm trying to accomplish into that year.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
That was a major gem he just dropped for y'all right there. And so when you went to college, how long did you play sports?
5 years. Okay. 5 years. I played 4 FSU. And then I went to grad school. I went to a school called Old Dominion, ODU. Now that was a cultural shock situation because it's like when you playing at a real major university and then you get surrounded, around a different, set of kids that's not all Americans and stuff like that. So you see things from 2 different point of views. And that's one thing I was able to, experience and see. And I was like, wow, I see the difference. I see why this is this is that. And I see, I just see everything from 2 different point of views, and that make you appreciate the situation you was in before too as well.
Nah, true. And so even with you going through that process, you saying, okay, I played 5 years here. Did you ever feel like I want to go to NFL or I want to go play ball international?
So the thing is, when you start college football, the thing is, it's a population of so many universities throughout the U.S. And from high school to college, the numbers just start to drop. Like everybody that plays high school, when they leave high school, there's a chance they may not play college football. So when you at college, by the time you start playing, you start to realize, okay, it's only a few kids get drafted. It's a few kids go to CFL. So as you go through that journey and that process, you start to realize like, okay, this reality kicking in. Okay, where I'm at. Then you start to like think long-term longevity with situations. And the thing is, you gotta self-reflect and look at yourself in the mirror and be honest with yourself, because if you not honest with yourself, you could get lost. And sometimes when I say you could get lost out here, it's a lot of guys still lost out here, like from 10 years ago. And when I say lost, it's just so many situations that you could do to make your life better. You don't have to play sports to make money or be great or be successful. There's so many ways to be successful out here, and a lot of times people feel like just because this avenue didn't work out means it's over with, my life is over with. No, you just got to wake up and find a different plan and build off that momentum and find what feel. Sometimes it may take a year to find out exactly what you want to do with yourself next, but that year is a year of improvement and building yourself up and becoming a better man. So,
okay. So now with that being said, how do you go from, getting presented All-American, going into college and everything to transitioning into a different point of your life?
Okay.
If that's what it makes it feel like, because not everybody gets called an All-American. And so it's like, okay, cool. You're supposed to be one of those statistical ones.
Right. So the transition for me was kind of easy because I tore my patella tendon. That's a dislocated kneecap. So that situation happened when I was training, like for pro days and stuff like that. And what made the transition even more easier, the world was on pause. So it happened COVID year, 2020. So by that happening, everything was on pause. And I had a lot of time to self-reflect. When I say self-reflect, just in the room, nothing going on. Everybody is, quarantined right now. So while everybody quarantined, I'm like, I got to figure something out.
Yeah.
And then when I said I wanted to figure something out, I was like, I want to be a business owner. What type of business? I had no idea, I had no clue. But that time, just sitting in the room, just dwelling on the past, it's like a flash. Like you got so many memories going on, like just thinking about all the, times that you enjoyed, but that that's over with. That page done flip.
Yeah.
So it's just like, okay, this the real world. Everybody do clothes. So I want it to be unique. I want it to be different. So I had a beard, and plus around that time nobody was getting haircuts. So I feel like that was the perfect opportunity to implement something like that. I didn't know anybody that was in that field. Everybody was doing clothes. Everybody. Still to this day, people do clothes. Like, cause that industry, everybody always gonna need something to wear.
Yeah.
But I wanted to attack an industry that nobody was doing. And that industry, I felt like it was a perfect fit for me. And at the time, it gave me time to, come up with, different formulas and stuff like that and learn the game of how to make beard products and stuff like that. And plus I needed funding, bro. I needed funding for my rehab. That was hard. Shout out to my mom. She helped me overcome a lot with that process. It was very hard. Went through a lot with that, but just to be able to overcome that situation and just create a beard brand like that and just have it like just flowing just everywhere, and then just the fact that it's in the best mall in the world, Aventura Mall right now, is crazy.
And so I want to take a second to really go over that point, because there's probably a lot of other people out there that have these dips in their life where something that they think they're supposed to be doing, or a path that they think is supposed to be the right one or whatever, gets closed, and they stay in that moment, So how long did it really take you, and what thoughts did you have at first once this injury first happened and you're really processing before you even get to the, okay, what's next?
Shoot, to be honest, when I had that surgery, I had to have surgery within 72 hours. So I knew it was a serious injury. And then after, the doctor had to tell me I had to have another surgery to take the wire out my kneecap. So I'm like, okay, this is a serious situation. I need to be thinking life after football for real. So when things like that happen, you start to think down the line. You start to think okay, I need to create a plan. It need to happen fast. But sometimes things don't take, as fast as you think, especially when you a first time business owner.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to go through a lot of trial and error. Like I wanted to, come up with the color schemes with the Beard brand. Okay, how I'm gonna introduce it, what I'm gonna sell, oil, balm, wash, moisturizer. Okay, how I'm gonna present it. I'm gonna put it in a wooden engraved box. What's the name of the brand? Just little things like that. Like sometimes, people take a month just to decide what's the name of their business gonna be.
Yeah.
So that happened. My injury happened in, I believe, it happened in January. So it happened in January, and the end of the year, December, I was having a whole, release of a whole beard grooming brand.
Wow.
So it's like the whole summertime. That's when I really got into it because I was still going through rehab and stuff, and I still, had something in my head like, okay, I still want to go play sports and stuff. But once I started seeing some type of money from the business and seeing things flow the right way, and I'm like, wow, this could really work. And it just shift your mind. Like it shift your mind from one thing to the other.
You the first entrepreneur in your family?
To be honest, no. To be honest, I got families that own stores. My grandma own a funeral home right now. My mom, she was a business owner. She had her own store. So there's always been people in my family that own something.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I want to start to shift more into the actual business side of things. Okay. So how old were you when you first made the beer brand?
To be honest, 2020, I had to be, I think 23.
Okay. So as a 23-year-old
23.
making a brand, a company from scratch, this is your first one.
Right.
After going through, okay, what's the name? What's this? What's this? What's this? What was your first point of sale?
My first point of sale was I had a whole party, like a whole release of the products, and I had it at a club. It was a club called Studio 183. I didn't know what to expect, bro. I had no idea how it was, going to turn out. Just put it on a flyer, create the hype. That's when I started realizing, like, whoa, this business stuff is really based off momentum.
Yeah.
And when I first had my first point of sale, it was a good feeling. It's a really good feeling. Then next thing I know, in the blink of an eye, I'm 1,000 sales later.
Wow.
Doing the same thing over and over, having the same feeling from the first sale. It don't get old. That's one thing about when you make sales transactions, it never get old.
Facts.
It never get old. It's just like, it feel like the first time every time you make a transaction, no matter who it is. And then now, just thinking about where I'm at now, selling to kids, selling to adults, selling to all age groups. I'm probably one of it's not too many people I know as friends that have like a very diverse age group of like people from like, I got people that's like 5 or 6, like kids, and then people that's all the way up to their 60s or probably even older, that wear the hats or, get the beard product. So I got a big, diverse, crowd of people that, using my products.
No, for sure. So, with the beard.
Yep.
What does scaling look like for you? Like, what exactly does it entail? How do you go from more of a local push into, I can get this out to everybody. I could put this on, the internet, sell it international, all of that stuff.
So the first point of sale was at the event. It was a great event. I was like, dang, what's next? So I was at a standstill after I had the first event. I was like, dang, like I want to do another one. And I was like, no, it don't work like that. I need to, get online. I need to figure out what's next. So how I was able to, make a huge strive with my business was being part of Aventura Mall. And then also having that diverse clientele. I'm in the best mall in America, bro. Thank God for that. So just being able to, you never know who you're going to see in that mall.
Yeah.
You may see, I done sold to a former Colombian president, bro, in the mall.
Wow.
Like a kid, from, Miami. Never thought I'd just have, certain interactions with certain people. And one thing about selling, you just get better over time. And then when you said, how do you scale a brand, like a beard brand? it changes every year. One thing about it changes every year. So currently right now, the way I'm looking at scaling my business right now, the beard grooming brand is reoccurring clients. So the way you do reoccurring clients is getting clients on, subscription base. So if you keep seeing people come to the table over and over, and you keep seeing people order on your Shopify over and over, why not convert them to reoccurring clients?
Absolutely. No, that makes sense. And so, as you start to get bigger as a brand, what action steps do you take to start being able to compete with other big brands that focus on beards?
So another thing, I can't do everything by myself. It requires a team. I've been doing everything by myself for years. And then when you start to realize, like, okay, you keep doing the same thing over and over, the numbers start to match up over and over. You know what you're going to get. Doing the same thing over and over, you got to change things. You got to make a sacrifice. Just being able to, add 2 or 3 more people to your team, it's not going to affect you. It's going to help the business grow tremendously. Yeah. Because the thing is, when I get in things, I think long term. I don't think, okay, what I'm going to get out of 2025. No, that's a milestone like I mentioned earlier. I'm thinking 10, 15 years down the line, because what I'm doing right now, everything I'm doing right now, I plan on doing the next 10 to 15 years of my life.
And so, I'm glad that you definitely brought up team. For a lot of the newer people that are new to business and new to really owning something and taking it to the next level, how do you figure out who do you need first on your team? You say you get about like 3 people. How do you say, okay, cool, I need an assistant, or I need a social media manager, I need XYZ?
So to be honest, it really depends on the type of business that you have. And one thing about it, I learned from every type of business, not even just my business, everybody. And it really depends on what you need. Like you just said, social media marketing. You need somebody, a sales rep. You need somebody to do inventory. Just different, avenues, just different things. It's always an opportunity for somebody. It's just about the budget that you're willing to spend and that you're willing to invest into your team to, get to the actual goal.
No, that's dope. Okay, cool. And so along this stage, how far did you get into the beard stuff where you were like, I'm gonna start Championship Swagger?
So to be honest, once I started the beard brand and I started seeing sales, I was like, okay, this is something I like. But the thing is, you're never gonna be as successful as you want to be if you're depending on the people around you. Like if you're depending on your team, like your family, your friends and stuff like that, like in business, like they could work with you like as a team, but like we talking about clients, like about 98% of my clientele, probably 99% of my clientele is strangers, bro.
Wow.
So with the beard brand, I was like, okay, like I'm from Miami. I know people that have, beards, but I need to get into a bigger market. So I got to, expose this brand to, more people to get this brand out. So that's one thing I was like really thinking about, like with the beard brand. And then eventually I was like, I want to do something different as well. And I was like, I want to do hats. I love hats. If you ever see me in college, my college days, I'm always wearing hats. And I always was into fashion growing up as a kid, but I didn't want to step on anybody's toes because everybody was doing clothes. So I was like, okay, I'm going to just do hats. Yeah. But my hat's going to be unique. It's going to be different. I'm going to make sure it's different. So I went through, so many manufacturers trying to figure out exactly what hat I want, what style. At the time, truckers was like the thing. Like everybody was doing truckers. Like it was, popular. So I was like, okay, I'm going to make sure my quality hats stand out. So I want to make sure I have a brand that when you wear it is noticeable. People say, whoa, where you get that hat from? Because there's times I've been out places and I saw hats before and I'm like, wow, that's a nice hat. Like this hat right here, this is one of my favorite hats right here that you have on your head.
Facts. This is one of the new ones too.
Yeah, one of the new ones. Yeah. One of the new ones. It's really like the first hat, but 2.0. With the with the sparkles and also with the suede with the red underbrim. It's very nice hat. Very nice.
No, facts.
If you're trying to learn how to get tax deed property for less than $3,000, I got a free class coming up. Head over to the link in my bio, Tax Deed Wolf CEO on Instagram. Click on that link, register, and I'm going to see you in class. Let's get it.
So now with the Championship Swagger brand, first off, that's a fire name. You know, how'd you come up with the name for that?
To be honest, Championship Swagger. When you think about Miami, what you think about swag. And when you think about champion, I wanted to have something that was unique, nice, and something that was like gravitate towards sports. Just by my, majority of my life before creating the brand was, sports. So just the name Championship Swagger, the definition of Championship Swagger is having the ultimate confidence in whatever you're trying to accomplish in life. So you got to have a championship DNA, a championship mindset. So that's like, it don't even have to be sports. It's just like, if you about to, trying to get a, new job or something like that, you're going to, put in 100%, effort, to show that you valuable, your worth.
Yeah.
And just like, with sports, athletes, they, put in, so much work just to get to the championship, just to have confetti showers. So that's why, you come to the table, you see confetti, on top of the hats and stuff like that. Because I always ask kids all the time, ask them, what you see when somebody win a championship, the first thing that happens. Then, confetti, that's the only time you're really going to see confetti, to be honest, is a celebration.
No, I like that. That's deep. And I like clothing that uplifts you, that affirms you, that speaks into you. And so Championship Swagger is something that you wear and you embody that kind of role, that kind of persona. And so you actually have some hats over there.
Yeah.
Kai, can you pass those hats? Like I want them to be able to see like, man, the versatility and quality of just staying consistent with one item, because they're just hats. All you got is hats.
Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 hats right here. I'm missing the first ever hat, the black and red one. If somebody have a black and red one, never been worn, I'd buy it off you. I don't even have a black and red one myself. So
wow.
Yeah. So this is the 2.0. It's the one he have on right now. I just released this not too long ago. And then this is a very special hat. Shout out to Joy. I did a kid's bar mitzvah. One of the sickest parties I've ever been to in my life. Wearing, this hat. This is a full custom hat. This hat just means so much. And he could tell you about how the party was too. It was something we never experienced.
And so how do you come up with the concepts for the hat in general?
To be honest, the colorways, I just think about, the colors that people will wear. And what's how also, the number one thing, just like clothes, they think about, what shoes coming out, what Jordans coming out, what people gonna be in the mall wearing, stuff like that. I always needed like a lighter color hat. So this is where the pink come from right here. This is a very nice hat. People been telling me for the longest, like, bro, you need to drop a pink hat. This hat is made to, stand out. So I like this hat a lot. Like, very nice with the black underbrim, very nice.
Yeah.
And then this is a very popular color in Miami because, the soccer team, everybody wearing this color because of Messi. So
I forgot Messi moved out here.
Yeah. So this is a very iconic, color. This is like a new pink that everybody wear. And then this is the Vice City. This is my first black and pink hat. With every hat has a different story. Vice City, that's the name of this hat. But with this hat, a lot of people, I done saw so many people wear this hat out different places, restaurant, clubs, the mall, you name it. I had to restock on which one? I had to restock on this hat about three times so far. Wow. Yeah, like 3 times.
And so when you do a set of hats, how many of that hat
they go about 100s. About 100s. Okay. Yeah, I wanted it to be a limited brand, very limited. But as it started to grow and the sales started to move, I was like, yo, it had to be limited, but I have to be more consistent, because it's like these kids like, okay, what's next?
You can turn your mic a little towards you.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, so these kids is like, okay, what's next? So I never thought, selling hats at, the price point of $60 was, even attainable. Because When I think back, when I was a kid, I wasn't no kid. I was gonna buy, a hat, at that price.
$60,
But
yeah.
times have changed
Yeah.
from 20 years ago for sure. So people, love the hats. It's also a nice hat too as well. The black
I feel
and
like
gold.
it's the luxury tip to it too.
It's luxury stand out. You got to get me
Yeah.
on here with the hat. Very nice quality.
Mhm.
These two is like two of my top hats right here. I love these hats. Like it's like my go-to for sure. The black, very nice.
And so when you're doing these hats, what's the process that you have to go through to really, because I like hats too. I have
Yeah.
a lot of hats in my inventory,
Okay.
and these sit at the front. Literally, like I be cursing myself out sometimes because I'm like, yo, you just wore this. Like you can't wear it again. You taking pictures and you trying to
Yeah.
switch it up, but it's like, damn, I don't like the other ones as much as I like this
Yeah.
one. And so I'll be looking at like when you got different colorways coming out, I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta cop that. I gotta cop this.
That's why you got to keep people guessing. Got to keep people on your toes. Like the thing is, I just released 2 hats back to back, like the black and red, and then also the pink. A lot of people, sitting home right now waiting on what's next. What's next with championship swagger? The answer you may never know, because what I'm going to do next is going to be, very nice. It's going to be a nice quality hat. It's not going to be a black base hat. It's going to be more of a lighter base. I want to get more into, having different color based hats, because I feel like I have enough black hats.
Yeah.
The cool thing is just seeing everybody wearing the hats, different color hats, different places. It's a hat for almost every outfit. Like this is a nice hat too. It's the black and blue with the gold underbrim. They're very nice. And then this hat here sold out so fast. That's when I really started to realize, well, before this, but people buy people. I had a famous artist at the time, Blueface. He actually got this hat from me, and I didn't know. I'm from the East Coast. I didn't know, like, I don't listen to his music or anything, but I didn't know like he have like a fan base like that. Yeah. So when I sold this hat to him in the mall, I'm just doing my due diligence, just selling to people, not culture shock, not shot. Oh shoot, this is an artist. Just just selling. And soon as he bought this hat, and he also wore it in his I believe in the music video, that hat sold out so fast.
Wow.
Yeah, it sold out fast. And then this is another hat right here. This is Scary Hours, one of my favorite. I had to restock on this hat like 3 times. This also a restock. And then I'm gonna also bring this back as well, because you gotta have like a black and orange hat. We're in Miami. Even though I went to FSU, UM players and stuff been spotted wearing the hats, even coaches as well. And then also, Dolphins as well.
Nah, exactly. And so with you making these hats, how far or how frequent do you take to be like, I got to put out the next design, or,
it's really about purchase behavior. Because the thing is, I try to, as the hats start to sell, as they start to come off the table, it's like, okay, they moving faster than I anticipated them to sell. So it's on to the next. Because the thing is, like with any business, like if you have a food business, you can't get complacent with whatever you're selling. Like you gotta be on to the next. You gotta keep the ideas flowing. That's one thing that you see with, major brands, like they keep the ideas flowing over and over and over. And it may be a shoe. It may be a Air Force One or a shoe. It may be the same exact shoe, just one change. As long as it's a change, it's a different concept, different idea. So you just got to stay consistent and always just change and evolve as the years go by. So that's one thing I've been consistent at, just being consistent, and also restocking, because the thing is, I'm making these by 100, so the quantity about to eventually like increase, because I'm starting to realize 100. That was the key concept. But they moving faster than expected. And then some kids, I really care about the kids, that younger generation, some kids not being able to get their hands on a hat. So that made me feel bad sometimes. Yeah.
Nah, facts. And so who was the first celebrity / influencer figure that really picked up your hat?
To be honest, the first that was spotlighted was Patrick Mahomes. That was huge. To be honest, I was in the mall at a time, and he was at a Texas Tech game. And you know, Texas Tech is black and red. And the kid, he was at, I think the kid was at like one of the restaurants at the game, and he just walked by the table, and he was like, "Wait, this the hat Patrick Mahomes had on." I was like, "Okay." I just thought
you didn't even know.
I just thought he was lying, but I didn't think about how Patrick Mahomes had a connection to get the hat. One of my friends purchased a few hats from me that played with him, and I had no idea, and I didn't think about it at the time that he was actually getting a hat for Mahomes.
Wow.
So when he wore the hat, I was like, okay. And then the kid came back and he was like, I want to buy this hat. And he showed me the picture, and I'm at the table not thinking too much of it. I'm like, wait, that is my hat.
Damn.
And next thing you know, it just became like momentum, like when I say brand momentum. And that's when I really realized like why brands and, you know, companies pay people for advertisement and, you know, influencers, because it makes a difference. And I was one of the athletes that made a tremendous strive in the business to like really increase sales. And that hat sold out fast. Like when he put on that hat, it sold out fast. I was like, okay, I got to get on to the next color.
Wow.
Because that black and red was gone. And I did it on purpose. I was out of stock of I had restocked black and red again. And then after it sold out again, because it sold out fast, I went away from that hat for like 2 years.
Wow.
And then by me doing that, like when I restocked on it again, because I released the black and red one like 3 times too as well. I don't even have the hat here right now. But when I restocked on the hat, it was like, it didn't even make the table the 3rd time. It was gone.
Wow.
It was going. It's like, okay, I'm putting my pre-orders in. It became a pre-order thing. So it's like, wow, you can make money before
you even spend it.
Yeah. So that was like, all this stuff was like new to me. Just, you know, transitioning from an athlete to, you know, full-time entrepreneur. I'm like, wow, hats, you could really make profit. And then just the thing is about business, before you get in anything with business, understand your profit margins. Make sure it makes sense before, you know, get started. Do your calculations, pull out a calculator, you know, right now. I'm like, okay, if I sell 500 hats, if I do this, okay, would I be able to get this, that? Just make sure it makes sense in the long run before you get started with anything.
Nah, factual. I was just about to ask that. Like, I can't imagine the overhead for making hats being like crazy ridiculous.
Yeah, to be honest, overhead, it increased over the years. That's one thing I can say. Inflation is crazy as the years go by compared when I first started. It was cool, but as you start, as a manufacturer, start to understand that you push your numbers, you start to, you know, move units and stuff like that. They start to work with you. I can't say they work with you because they like, okay, it's about building a relationship. Some relationships is worth more than money, like temporary money. This money right here is long term, because with this person gonna, you know, buy. Like, would you rather just take the higher number I'm gonna offer for 1 year, or would you rather take the client that you could, you know, work something out with them and it could last for the next 5-10 years or even longer?
Nah, facts.
Yeah. And because one more thing, because as you grow, as the brand grow, you grow as the supplier too as well.
Facts.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna be like, yo, this person been doing business with me for this amount of time and they're consistent with it.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's major. And
Yeah.
so, you know, you going into the outer part of the branding, so the collective, because people tend to stray away from that, but that delivery process also matters, because you have a luxury item, but it's like, okay, when you go to Rolex, you sit down, you get a bottle of champagne with it, you get this and that, like you get a lot of amenities. When you buy a hat, for those who have never bought a hat yet, you have a box with the confetti in it.
Yeah.
It has a number on which one it is that you're getting out of the bunch. Like, you have a bracelet in there. Like, you give it a whole collective presentation. And so what made you want to deliver it in that format?
It's the little things, bro. When you shopping and stuff like that, you get certain things, certain shoes, certain products, certain collaborations. It may offer a wristband. it's just like as a kid growing up, being into fashion, being into certain stuff, certain shoes come with, extra stuff. May come with an extra pair of laces. So I wanted, like I said, I wanted to be different. I wanted something different. It's a few times I purchased from, business owners, and I'm like, wow, the packaging was amazing. I want to purchase again. What's next? When they releasing something else? So once you thrill somebody off like that, off packaging, wristband, confetti, just little stuff like that, where you could get their attention, ways like that, that's when you like, okay, I could do this. And it make a huge difference, like you just said, with Rolex. People love the green box that comes in. Just shopping bags, bro. Just little things like that. That make a huge difference from point A to point B in your business.
No, facts. And so with you scaling to the level that you've scaled at right now, from a statistical level, do you see a lot more one-off transactions happening, or how frequent do people come back to get a second, third, fourth, fifth hat?
To be honest, it's like when you buy one, you want more. You want one over and over. I just talked to a client not too long ago in the mall this past weekend, and I remember the kid. I remember his son, but when he came by last week, he came by with his son. And I'm like, okay, I remember you purchasing. So it's a household. Like the brand is in households, different hats and stuff. Because when the guy came back, he was like, I appreciate you for shipping that hat out I just shipped a hat out to somewhere in South Carolina. It was a birthday gift. So it's really organic. It's very organic and word of mouth. And that's the best, that's the best you could have as a business, like when you don't have to run too many ads and stuff like that. And everything is organic and it's real hype. And, the most important clientele that you could have is the youth, because think about when you was a kid at a place in New York, when you was growing up, I'm not sure what mall you went to, but it's still things you remember.
Yep.
And by me being in the mall for years, I'm really watching kids grow up. I'm watching kids go from middle school to high school, from high school to college. And so much has, changed, because those hats been on the table since 2021. We're in 2025.
Yeah.
So I'm part of these kids' childhood. Like I remember certain things when I was a kid. Kai could tell you too, like when we was kids, just growing up, going to Aventura Mall, going to the movies. What we used to do, go to the stores like Abercrombie, Hollister, go to, the movies and stuff with our friends, go to Johnny Rockets, little stuff like that. Like that stuff we remember as kids. One thing about when you're growing up as kids, you remember stuff. So one thing, a lot of people gonna remember these hats. A lot of people. Because every year, people, not even just in the mall, just outside the mall, every year, people have to buy gifts. I still have some of the same clients buying gifts every year. Like, okay, what you got for Christmas? Okay, I'm gonna, order this hat for my nephew, my grandson, my son, whoever. So it's part of, Christmas, whatever. And then people just love to rock the hats at sporting events. It's like every time I go somewhere, bro, like I see the hats at a restaurant, nightclub, sporting event. People always tagging the pages. And then out of nowhere, sometimes I just see random people wearing the hats, and I just be like, whoa, I don't remember selling to him. But yeah, it's cool. It's a dope experience. Like anybody that wear championship swagger hat, I'm a fan.
Yeah, I bet that feeling feels good. And so, with you scaling on the level that you're scaling, and you're coming up on having a good plethora of hats, these are all minus the red, right?
Yeah.
So that makes what, 13?
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's really 10, because one of the hats right there is a very special hat from the bar mitzvah. That's a hat that was unreleased.
Okay.
So I might eventually put it on the website or something like that, but not sure. I got so many ideas, so many concepts, so many colorways. The thing about hats is so many colors in the world, and there's so many different designs you could do with a hat. So
I started thinking about like a hat subscription.
Yeah. Somebody just sent me. Because
they have like the beard subscriptions. Yeah. They have a bunch of little stuff like the kit, like the swag kits, all of that type of stuff. And I was thinking in my head like, so many different color waves. Like, You know, and this is just me, just business
No,
owner
facts.
thinking
Facts.
like,
That's a good pointer. That's a good
cool.
tip.
I knock the price down a little bit. You do a monthly subscription for the next 6 months, get, 6 hats or whatever, and this color wave, whatever, blah, 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 because you're almost guaranteeing a certain amount of bread. And, for a spender like me, I literally have half the hats that have been out. And so I'll be like, okay, I'll do that because they're quality. They're more of like a luxury item to me. The idea to do like suede, I've seen it in other hats before, but
it don't hit the same.
It don't hit the same at all. How
by
you
the time you
execute
wear
it
about
is
two,
nice.
by the time you wear it 2 times, quality hit. It's not the same. But I like the idea. It's a thrill. Like it's like a magic mystery box. Because if you do a subscription with the hats, you're like, okay, I'm not sure what's coming next.
Exactly.
It's something at my doorstep. Let's see what's here.
Exactly.
So, and then, people love, discounted price, free shipping, 10, 15% off, something like that. And the thing is, how our world is, evolving, memberships is everything. Like everything, if you got to go to the gym, the first thing they, selling you is a membership.
Yeah, 100%.
Membership. They're not interested in one-time purchases.
They're catching you at home, Netflix, Hulu, all of these subscription-based things, your cell phone, everything is subscription-based. Yep. And those are the companies that are really making the most money right now.
And it wasn't like that years ago. So with everything, like you got to subscribe to something. No, I guarantee 100%. Everybody sitting in this room right now subscribe to something about 5 things.
We all got them subscriptions for sure.
Even if you make payments on insurance, like car insurance, anything, you can get a discounted rate if you do an auto pay, automatic, monthly. So
your internet bill, phone bill, all of that stuff. It all makes sense. And so now that we talked about the scaling, the height of these things,
right?
Everything that could go right. What are some things along the way for both businesses that have gone wrong?
I like this topic. To be honest, as an entrepreneur, you're going to have a lot of trial and error. And I went through a lot of trial and error. Like, for example, when I first started the beard grooming brand, everything is sourced in the U.S. I make the products, the oil, the balm, the wash, the moisturizer, the labels, everything. But the thing I don't make is the boxes. The beard kits. And that was, the money maker of the business at the time because I wasn't selling the products individual. So when I say trial and error, when I first started selling, it was just a box. You couldn't buy the products just oil. You couldn't get the balm, the wash, the moisturizer. You couldn't get the products individual. You had to buy as a gift set because it's something I wanted to make. And I wanted to just make the full price instead of just an individual partial price. So when I started running out of products, I wasn't thinking about how long it take to get products back in from overseas because when you're dealing with overseas, you have to worry about the holiday season. You have to worry about also Chinese New Year's and stuff like that. So it's different. You got to get strategic on your shipping and stuff as well. So that kind of put me on a pause for a little while. And eventually it kind of made me implement to, okay, I'm going to sell the products individual. So I started selling the products individual, just the oil, the balm, the wash, and the moisturizer. And also soon in the future, I'm about to add a few more stuff to, I'm about to create another beard kit soon, probably later on this year or probably the beginning of next year. But I'm aiming for the fall because the fall is the perfect time to implement something new. Yeah, because it's peak season and anything in retail at the time.
Yep, no, 100%. Yeah. You're going into that holiday season spending,
right?
Yeah, at end of the year and beginning of the year, best time to have a product.
Right. Even with hats, when I with the hats, with the Mahomes thing, they flew off the table fast, and it make you like realize like, okay, I got to spend more to get more, and why not spend more on additional hat colorway like I just showed you. It's been a while since I released a new colorway, and I told people, lately, like I'm gonna start releasing multiple hats at a time, so you don't have to wait. Like what's next? Yeah. Because in the generation we live in, these kids have money. They want it now. They don't want to wait. They don't want to wait next month, 2 months, 3, 4 months. They like, I want it now. If you release 4 hats, I'm willing to spend money on hats. So it's time to just implement things and make things more faster. And now with the shipping and stuff, dealing with, overseas shipments and stuff like that, I got everything down pat on, like once I see my inventory like at a 60% mark or certain things, got to put that order in to make sure I'm on time. Because I see a lot of business crash like that, bro.
Yeah.
Like a lot of business, they have a lot of clients, even like you just said, the pre-order way or the subscription way. Imagine having a product that everything is just subscription based and everything is made overseas and nothing is sourced in the US, and something happened overseas and you can't get your products.
Facts.
That becomes a big problem. And when I say a big problem, that becomes a lot of refunds, website, tend to crash, all type of different problems that you don't want to happen. And that, deteriorates the brand as a whole. And that creates, brand clarity to go down, and people don't want a brand that they can't trust.
Nah, facts. And so even with that part of it, like, do you think you'll ever open up like a brick and mortar?
To be honest, my brick and mortar is the mall. What I invest, spend time, effort, energy, everything is right there, and the traffic is right there. I can't. At first, that's what I wanted, but I'm like, no. Because the thing is about these stores, all these stores, it's like a showroom. It's a difference from an actual store and a showroom. Showroom, the definition of a showroom is like clients that's coming in to like actually spend.
Yeah.
And then a store is like having those like, random clients come in and stuff like that. And the thing is, it's so much in this generation just to have a store. It's so much that you have to deal with employees, light bill, water bill, insurance, all type of stuff. And then you got to worry about, all type of, stuff that be going on out here. Anything could go wrong. Then you got to, additional stuff. You got to have cameras. Stuff happens all the time. So I just rather, deal with the way I'm doing things and just make the, transition online. Because you're going to make more online than actually having a store, especially in the field I'm in right now.
Nah, facts.
Yeah.
And so one of the last categories that I want to touch on is, what makes you want to speak to the youth so much?
To be honest, a lot of people don't have like that guidance in the household. Like, especially we growing up in, the world where it's just like social media, just everybody, like your mind could get so caught up in the loop of what's going on. And a lot of kids, if you just look on social media all day long, you could get, stuck out here and you could get lost and feel like you're not accomplishing and doing the right things in life. Like, for example, everybody can't afford certain things, like certain kids. And, sometimes they could look at those situations as like bad situations, but the thing is, me as a person, I always look at situations as you got to learn how to dance through the rain. And whatever you going through, it's okay, because life, you're going to go through adversity, and it's about how you dig yourself outside, like out the adversity, because that's just what life about. Like, you learn yourself through every situation, trial and tribulation.
Facts.
So once you learn yourself, I feel like that's one thing about kids. A lot of kids don't understand that. They don't understand the process. They, they want things microwave and they want it now. But as I talk to kids, some kids think I got to figure it out. And I tell them, no, bro, I'm still learning. Because a lot of kids, I'm only 28, bro. A lot of people like, hey, OG. They call me OG. And I'd be like, bro, I'm 28. I'm still, on my journey. A lot of kids always ask me all the time, what exactly are you trying to accomplish? And I always tell them, just trying to be a better person. Because I see a lot of people lose themselves trying to get to the prize. And once you lose yourself trying to get to the prize, it's no point in getting to that prize.
Facts.
Yeah.
No, that's major. Like y'all got to really understand that gem that he just dropped in. And on the other side of that, when you have somebody, because this used to be me too, when you have somebody that's so gung-ho for something, like you being on both sides of the fence, seeing where sports can take you, but also seeing where business can take you, how do you have that kind of conversation with kids whose mind are not fully developed to understand the importance of life after sports?
To be honest, I tell kids all the time, like when I do meet kids, like the high school kids, the kids that, have like, offers or, got a potential to go to, play college. I always tell them, watch how you post. Like, we know as kids, y'all getting money, y'all don't have to, post $5,000-$10,000 on social media and stuff like that, because it's always somebody watching.
Yeah.
Always be presentable, be sharp, be on point. You never know who you're talking to as well.
Facts.
So that's another thing. Treat everybody with the same respect, because it could be somebody you're talking to that could, control your destiny. And you never want to be on that side of things. And, you apologizing and stuff like that. So I always just tell people, just treat everybody with kindness. And you do that, you focus on yourself, you'll be okay. You'll be okay.
Nah, facts. Man, Calvin, this was worth the wait. You know,
bro.
Just being able to find out more about your story, but the origins of the legendary brand, because that's exactly what it is. To be able to confidently conceptualize, and I need you guys to understand how deep this is. To be able to make a brand, sell it to people, but then you go up a level and you're selling it to people of influence. You're selling it to people of celeb status. You're selling it to people that can direct the narrative.
Yeah.
That puts your product or your service on a completely different level, because these people operate at a different level. They're surrounded by different things. They're exposed to different things. And so that one person can take your brand from beginner to intermediate, or from beginner to advanced right away. Yeah. And having these moments, having the preparation to do so, having the plan, the structure, the mindset to be able to dive into that, as a last question, how do you develop this mindset to really shift yourself into, okay, I got to roll this out. This got to keep going. I'm watching these numbers. I got to set this up. I got to do this. I got to do that.
To be honest, it's just the repetition, bro. As you start, I've been doing the same thing since 2021, bro. The same thing, the same operation. I know where I got to be on certain days. I know what I got to do. It's the same thing. Nothing have changed at all. I've been doing the same thing. And once you get programmed to doing the same thing over and over, it just become accustomed. That's like going to the gym. And another thing for the kids, always speak to people with respect, because you never know, being kind to somebody could, like I said, put you in a different room, and it could mess around and put you in a room you have no business being in at all from the first place. But my situation, just be consistent, because the thing is, it's hard. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's hard. It's very hard. But the thing is, those milestones just keep me going. What's next? My clients keep me happy. What's next? But it's hard, bro, because I'm making so many sacrifices. The past few years, I made so many sacrifices. So many events, so many things I can't do with my, family, friends and stuff. And that's okay, because I know what I'm going at with what I'm trying to do, it's going to be well worth the wait.
No, facts. Spoken like a true business owner right there. Sometimes you got to give up the things you want for the things that take you to the next level.
Yeah.
As simple as that. But man, Calvin, if people wanted to follow you, get a hat, which first off, everybody should be getting a hat.
Yeah.
Where could they do that at? Where could they find you?
Championshipswagger.store, and then also akingofkings.com.
Absolutely. And so, as you already know, certain individuals, when they come on the show and they have certain products that we can do these things for, if you're watching, we're going to pop a random word up on the screen somewhere during the episode, and we're going to get you one hat and one beard kit. And so you're going to have two words, I guess, at two different times. My engineers will make it look good for you, whatever. And so it's not going to be at the beginning or the end. You got to watch the episode and you got to comment, whether you send it to Calvin, whether you send it to us. We're going to make sure you pick whatever color hat wave you want, and we got it. It's on the house for Attractive Mindset. And the beard kit, same thing. So if you don't got a beard, don't use that code or gift it to a friend. But you already know, man, it's your host, Moneybag Rich. And at the end of the day, we always say, we look good, we live good, life is good. Talk to us, we talk back, and we out.